In a town much like yours, there is a classroom much like your own, with students who are just trying to get through the day. But one teacher rises above the daily din to crack into secrets behind student learning. Here in Marzano's place.
Mr. Louie, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure thing. Barbara. Good God, you frightened me.
Can I ask you something, Mr. Louie?
Sure, Barbara. Ask me anything you like.
I'm having some trouble with your teaching strategies. I'm just not sure that I'm benefiting from the same rigorous strategies that other kids in our public school system are receiving.
I beg your pardon?
What I'm really looking for is some effective feedback so that I can start building a strong academic vocabulary.
Barbara, have you been reading Wikipedia again? Louis, she makes an excellent point. According to the data collected by the fine folks at Marzano Research, the 3 areas central to school improvement are fostering and sustaining system-wide teaching strategies, providing effective feedback to students, and building a strong student academic vocabulary. When I won the Brock International Prize in Education, they referenced the fact that the body of my work has been to interpret and analyze educational research and, in my own words, to translate research and theory into practice. It's my hallmark, so don't just stand there. Practice! Well, Barbara, I'm excited to hear you take so much interest in not just your education, but the educational system as a whole. In fact, I base all of my lessons off of guaranteed and viable curriculum, and I implement it with cutting-edge best practices developed through Marzano Research's partnership with the educators themselves. Remember at the beginning of the semester when we went over course rules and procedures?
Yeah?
Well, that was one example.
What if I forget the procedure, Mr. Louie?
Well, Barbara, another best practice that I like to use is monitoring student work. You may have noticed that I'm constantly keeping track of what you're up to and the work that you do. I don't rush you, but I observe and monitor your progress and help you out if you can't remember how to do something or aren't understanding it.
You mean like the difference between carnivores and herbivores?
Great use of academic vocabulary, Barbara. Hey, Rob, I've been thinking. I have all these strategies to utilize, but what would you say are the instructional strategies that are most likely to improve student achievement across all grade levels and subject areas? Give me, say, 9. Very good, Mr. Louie. In fact, in my book, Classroom Instruction That Works, I list these very 9 strategies: identifying similarities and differences within content, the ability to summarize and take notes, reinforcing effort and providing recognition, homework and practice, non-linguistic representations, cooperative learning, setting objectives and providing feedback, that's a big one, generating and testing hypotheses, and lastly, cues, questions, and advance organizers. Don't worry, Barbara, it may seem like a lot, but with a little practice, we can do these things every day. Hello and welcome to Talking Marzano, the show that follows Marzano's place, where we talk about this week's episode and all the hot goss that went down during it. This week we saw Mr. Louie and Barbara having a little conversation with the floating head of Robert Marzano himself. They were talking about the 9 most effective, or the most likely to be effective, strategies of instruction that you can use in any grade level or across any content area. Wow, that's amazing! Let me ask you this. Do you think these strategies can really be used across all content areas? In all grade levels? Well, sure, take a look. I'm really curious what you guys think. Why don't you get in the comments section and let us know, or tweet us. Which of these 9 strategies have you seen in action at the secondary level? And to what success or failure? Have you seen an opportunity to use any of these strategies go unused? How would you have tried to handle that situation with these strategies in mind?
Certainly all these strategies could be applied to middle school or high school classrooms. They seem to be based on building up self-esteem and giving students regular, clear, and supportive feedback. A huge emphasis is put on guaranteed and viable curriculum, meaning that it's guaranteed to be taught no matter what class you run into, and it's viable because it's useful and it's on target. This supports the idea of a national common core or similar set of standards. Critics of Marzano research have complained that the trainings are convoluted and take too much time to implement. Others call into question sources and publications on which the research is based. They say that the partnerships with educators are based on favoritism and status rather than what's really cutting-edge research that points to good instruction technique. Above all else, Marzano's teacher evaluation framework, used in Washington for example, is under fire on the message boards. Although a teacher evaluation framework that is immune to criticism has yet to be discovered. Join us next week for more adventures from Marzano and the kids at Marzano's place. And remember, join us next week for more adventures with Marzano and the kids at Marzano's place. See you then.